Hi, I'm David O'Connor, and I'm here with Sammy and Dr. Finn, who is a veterinarian of chiropractic and osteopath, to help us understand head and neck positions and the effect of what a horse does with its mouth and how that affects locomotion. So in the stoplight guidelines, we have these three sections. We have green, we have yellow, we have red. And the green is something we all love to watch. It's harmonious, it's wonderful, you really enjoy it. The yellow starts to make you concerned and you start to really pay attention because something doesn't seem quite right. The red is something that we need to stop that action as soon as possible. Green is the thing that we like to watch. And so for a head and neck position, it really depends on what the breed is or where that is. Sometimes with the hunters, they're out. Saddlebreds are quite high, they have a very high head carriage, and it is really important that you understand what the head and neck position does for the action of the horse. So a horse that even slightly might come around, and I'm going to try to show here on Sammy, that I get a slight behind the vertical when he's stretching like that, that's not a big issue. It's the constriction of the neck that becomes an issue farther on down the line. So that harmonious communication that we have between horse and rider in the position that is natural for their head and neck and then natural for the position of the discipline we're playing in, that's what we're all looking for. So in these stoplight guidelines, the yellow section is where you start to be concerned, and it makes you kind of pay attention. In the head and neck positions, horses will go slightly behind the vertical, even naturally in some ways, as he's kind of doing now as he's playing with his lead rope. Right? They will do that naturally, but then they'll stretch back out and they'll come out into the frame, which is long, being able to use their neck for their locomotion. That is not a problem, but it is something, if it happens over and over and again, you start to pay attention to it.
And from the veterinary standpoint, having momentary positioning is not harmful because that's a sign that they're trying to find the connection or to rebalance themselves.
And really, from a training point of view, we would have to say the same thing. The momentary one is not the issue. It is when it becomes extended, that's when it becomes a problem. In the red section of the guidelines, we're talking about crossing a line as something that we don't want to see, and really we need to stop. So as head and neck position, we talk about hyperflexion, which is the action of where their head and neck really becomes so short and their nose is so far down, right, that in the end they end up in this type of position here, right? And they go here, and it's usually always caused by rider aggression in their reins, right? And they push and they pull to the place where the horse has nowhere to go. Now, hyperflexion, really, what negative effect does that have on their body?
Well, hyperflexion puts extreme tension all the way from the temporomandibular joint into the atlas through this whole ligament system demonstrated in red to the hind end. And so they don't have forward momentum, and they're feeling excessive stress in their head and mouth, as well as they can't see forward, and that's very stressful when you're moving and you can't see.
I think at this point, when you talk about it from a training point of view, this is where for an extended long period of time, this has a really negative effect, not just on the training, but on the horse's physical and mental side also. In the red section, when we're talking about the mouth, what you'll see is a lot of grinding, cramped lips, tongue stuck out the side of their mouth, and you see that extreme tension also within their whole body and their face at the same time. Horses are fight or flight animals, and so this is where they really are fighting the way, and they don't feel like they have a way out. One of the things also that we talk about with bits is that any type of blood that is caused by a bit or is caused by spurs or anything like that, that is immediately, that has to be stopped and checked out. So in this extended red section, when we see these things of hyperflexion or blood in the mouth or that excessive grinding, that clear tension, we want to make sure that the officials are going to be able to walk in and be able to get somebody to take a break and be able to address the rider about it. If that doesn't happen, go to the official and talk to them about them so that they can go ahead and start to break the cycle of what this is going to happen. If you feel that strongly about it, you can always go to report to the USEF directly on their website, and you could do that anonymously if you have to.